Hi there, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage. This morning it was pretty warm out there, not too bad. I enjoyed sitting out there for just a little bit and just got back from my bike ride, and so I'm a little hot and sweaty. But it is good, all good. I just wanted really quick to remind everybody that those bonus day coupons are going to expire. The coupons aren't going to expire, but you aren't going to be able to get the coupons anymore after the 31st. So you only have a couple more days, a few more days of ordering. Um, Really 2.5 days, I guess, of ordering, and so for every $50 you order, you get a $5 coupon in your email that you will be able to redeem in August. And so I would just really encourage you to place those orders. This is a great time to do it. You're not limited in what you can order. And you're not limited, I don't think, on what you can redeem those coupons on. It's going to be anything in the catalog. Now, for those of us who are Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, this is a sweet deal because on August 1, the holiday catalog will be available for us to order from. Um, and and so we are going to be able to use those coupons to order things from the holiday catalog. So I'm excited about that, and I'm sure many of you are too. So make sure, if you, especially if you are a demonstrator, get those orders in. But even if you are not a demonstrator, um, you will still profit by being able to order from anything in the regular catalog. And then the coupons, they do expire on August 31. So for if you are not a demonstrator, you would not be able to redeem those for any of the items in the holiday catalog. And I think I was mistaken about that earlier in something I sent out. So if you are not a demonstrator, I'm sorry, you wouldn't be able to. So having said that, that is one of the perks of being a demonstrator. And this is a great time to do it. Stampin' Up! Has some special deals going right now so that you can the extra promotion. I've got it advertised on my page, and and other people do too. So I think that this is a great time to join Stampin' Up! Because you get extra things in your or extra, money to spend on your starter kit. So it's a $99 starter kit. You're getting $165 actually of product when you count the $10 coupon they're gonna mail to you. And but you do need to do that by the end of July, by July 31, because you won't get that $10 coupon back if you join Stampin' Up! In August. You'll still get the other extra promotions, but you won't get that $10 back. So you want to do that now. So I've got on my paper down here, I've got some other information that I'm going to go through. But really quick, I just wanted to show you guys this card. Isn't this cute? Thank you, Marty, for making this for me. This is so sweet. And I love how she used Wink of Stella. Now, you probably can't really see the Wink of Stella as well. It does not photograph well, but in person, I love Wink of Stella. This is one of the things that I like to give. But because it's a tube and all, I can't really mail it. It's a great gift for team members. So team members, be looking out for that stamp, Wink of Stella. So don't order any for those of you on my Stampin' Up! Team, because I actually have some for you. So anyhow, then in our class, I just wanted to share really quick. Hi, Freddie. You remembered. Awesome. It's nice to see you. Excellent. Thank you for sharing. I do need to remind people to share my videos. I always forget. So I'll try to remember later. So Diana brought some Easy Mount. This is called Easy Mount Stampin' Store, and it's a foam thing that you can buy on Amazon, and it is super sticky. But you can, if you want to remount any of your wood stamps like I have, I'm going to just show you. I mean, I've been collecting I've been collecting stamps for 25, almost 30 years. So I have lots of wood stamps, and it would be nice to be able to use some of those on the Stamparatus or even on my clear block, because then I can see the placement better than when you're looking through a wood block. I also could store more things. I've got this system which works for me, but some people would like to store it better. So if you want to do that, most of your wood block stamps, you can peel that off and put it on this. So thank you, Diana, for bringing this to me. As you can see, I've already used it. I've already used it. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera down to my workspace, and oh, you did? Yeah, my YouTube class. I had to put that. Normally, I don't put my classes on YouTube, I mean, for anyone to see, but for some reason, I had to do that. I mean, one of the ladies wasn't going to access it on Facebook, and so for people who do my class, just for you that are interested in maybe doing it in the future, I need to get you on as my Facebook friend, which is actually looking like my husband's Facebook friend, since I use Jeff's, excuse me, I'm sorry, that's very noisy. So I'm using Jeff's page, and that's partly because early in our marriage, we decided, with all the technology stuff, when that came about, we knew that to keep all of us really accountable to each other about what we see, what we spend money on, all the things that we do online, we do things, it's all together, we do it all together. So I really didn't want to start up my own Facebook page, because I wanted him to be able to see everything I did, and I wanted to be able to see everything that he did too. It's sort of the same for both of us. And so anyway, that is why you have to, if you do any of my classes, you have to become a friend of Jeff Crow, my husband, but it's actually me. He teases me that I've taken over his page because he hardly uses it at all anymore. I'm the one that actually uses it a lot. And also then my Kathy Crow's cards and the prayer garden one, all of that stuff's connected to the to Jeff's page. But you have to get that friend request, and then I can send you an invitation to our team page, which is the Crow's Nest Crafters. Now, I've got my host code down here, and I've got most of the items I'm going to use in this card today listed there in case you're interested in ordering. And I'm kind of doing that because I figure if you are not a demonstrator, then you might as well order through me as through anyone else. I'm as good as anyone else. So you can order through me, and you will get a free gift from the Crow's Nest Cottage, or Kathy Crow's Cottage, Kathy Crow's Cards, and then I'm also just, again, super encouraging people to join our team, because there are a lot of benefits. You get all of my classes at half price. You get to do some fun things with us, and we do everything we do in our classes, we do online, so that you can do it from wherever you are. All right, so I am still trying to get everything going on Facebook. I hope my husband's music's not too loud. He's home, of course, for the summer because he's a teacher, and I am so uncomfortable having him overhear me doing my card thing that he puts music on so that I don't think he's listening to it. And yes, Freddie, I'm going to comment on your you are so right. But find me a thing that's not. I know you're on now, Freddie. This is a good opportunity for you to plug the other social media. I've joined, but I forgot what the name is. I forgot. I don't think it's got an icon on my desktop. So Facebook is too politically correct. I agree. There's very little in the world of social media that isn't. So you could comment the name of that other, the other one that you're using. We'll see if Facebook deletes that comment. I've had them delete many things, and they probably will because it would be a competition for them. But if they weren't, if they actually were more interested in the free market than, or as they say they are, they wouldn't fear it, would they? Because they wouldn't have to worry about competition if they really were the best. So anyhow, that's sort of here nor there. All right. Parler, that's right, Parler is the other social media that acts actually just like Facebook, and I should use that with my videos too. I never thought about that, because I can download my videos and then I could probably share it there. So anyway, I'll have to think about how to do that, because it actually looked like a really good one. All right, so let me check to see that you see everything that I do. I'm going to move my camera just a tiny bit. I oftentimes forget to do that. And thank you for sharing. And was there anything else that I needed to say? I don't think so. I think everything's all set, so we can just go. Now, this card that I'm doing today is a case from another team member, the lady that I came into Stampin' Up under, Cara Payzant. Her team, or her Facebook page is Stamp Paper Scissors, and she does on Tuesdays a video, and she's very clever. She has all kinds of really cool things. So if you check her out, this is I took a card that she sent to me and sort of redid it a little bit for how I wanted to use it. She used a totally different stamp set, but today I'm using a big thank you stamp set. That's why I have this written. This stamp set is photopolymer, which I love because it's, I thought I lost my sheet. I lose these sheets all the time because I peel them off to use my stamps. Then I forget to put it back on. I'm not a very organized person, I'm afraid. So anyhow, it has all kinds of really nice little doodads. And I like these little doodads because if you do not want to spend the $12 for DSP, which I do because I love the DSP. They always have beautiful papers, and since I can use both sides, for me it's a really good deal because I make a lot of cards, so I like to use the DSP. But if you don't want to spend $12 for all of your DSPs, you don't have to, because you can just use little doodads like these and make your own background papers. And I actually did a card. I should have dragged it over, but it's way over across the room, so I'm not going to go get it. But I did a card using the Sailing Home stamps to do my own DSP. So you'll see it on my website if you check that out. At some point in time, I'll get that on there, or on Pinterest, because I'll get that on there. But it also has some sayings that I like. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. I actually have that on a wood block, and I'm so thrilled to have it on a photopolymer set. It actually is a font that I'm going to use, and it's the size I'm going to use. I think the one I have is much bigger. And then I'm grateful every day for you. Your lovely wishes brought a smile to my day. I love these. I'm going to use all of these a ton. Friend, ever so grateful, the little hello, and a thanks, a heartfelt gratitude. I'm just telling you, when I saw this, I thought, oh, fantastic. I have a whole bunch of sentiments that I'm going to use a bunch of. I'm going to use those little flowers. I know I'm going to use these. It's just a stamp set I know I will use a ton. So today we are only using a couple of stamps out of it, but it's very cute. So this card is a flap card, and it opens like this. I haven't decorated the inside yet. I'm going to, but to get it going, I didn't. So this is, like I said, this is a design that I got from the idea from Cara Payzant. So I just want to encourage you to check out her page on Tuesdays at 1. I think she does it also at 1. She does a card thing, and she does all kinds of stuff. But order through me. If you are not a demonstrator, order through me. I'm the one that needs it, right? That is so not true. Order through who you want to. Okay, so I took a piece of mint macaron, cut it in 4 1/4, and this is the 11-inch side, scored it at 5 1/2 inches, folded it in half. Okay, so I already did that. And then I ran, this is soft sea foam, and I ran that stitched lace dies through it. And I actually was going to run another piece through for you, but I think I put I'm not sure if I have it, just so you could see how easy this actually goes. When I see a big giant die like this, I'm a little skeptical about how easily I'm going to get all of these little holes punched out. So I actually don't need to run it because this one sheet did this card and it's going to do the next card. So I really don't need to run it through. But if you don't have the stitched lace die, you might like to see how easy it actually does go through. So let me put my book. I'm reading this Dearly Depotted. Very funny. It's a little flower shop mystery. It's been fairly clean. Oh, well, it has been totally clean. It has a little language I'm not thrilled with, but it's very mild. Probably the HELL and that sort of thing. So for those of you who are not as prudish as me, you would not even probably consider it to be swearing, so that's fine. I actually don't have any concerns about that. The only thing is that I really do not appreciate people who use the Lord's name in vain a lot. That's something that is highly offensive to me. But other than that, swearing is just, for me, it just indicates how good your vocabulary is or is not. Let's just put it that way. There was an old SpongeBob SquarePants, one of the early ones before they got so politically correct too, like every other thing in the whole world, it seems like, where they had a little segment that was talking about sentence enhancers. So I thought that was funny because swear words actually are not sentence enhancers, but people think they are. All right, so I'm running that stitched lace die. I'm going to have to hold this pretty firmly, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing, and I don't burn myself on my light because it's pretty hot. The die is a little fatter than some of them, so it doesn't run through as easily, so I'm having to give it a little bit more torque, and I don't know that I have to run it back through again, but I'm doing so just in case because it is one of those big fat dies. I want to make sure that it comes through really well, and then that way you're gonna see. Now, did you see all of those just fall through? I haven't done any of the fancy waxed sheet thing with this die. I've only used this die one time. I always forget to use the wax paper method. If you put wax paper, it supposedly comes out much easier. Yes, Freddie, I agree. That's very, it's like anybody, people who do that all the time, I just would like to ask them, would you like it if somebody used your dad's name in every sentence, like you're using that name? I mean, would you like that? So anyway, that's just how I feel about it. So I'm taking my little brush. This is our old brush. So we have a new attachment that can go onto your Pica tool. And it, I'm sure, works really well. I just don't happen to have one. This brush is very adequate for me, so I haven't bought the new one, but we are not selling this one anymore. We have a different one. But it works. It's the same principle. I'm sure it works great. So I'm just running it through and looking at the back. Now, do you see how that's coming? Almost all of those are coming out so well. This is just amazing to me because a lot of times when you have a really highly detailed die with lots and lots of little holes, they just don't cut all that well. Some of them just don't. And I usually, when I have one like that, I'm just going to give you a really quick tip. If you you run it through, I'll run it through sometimes 3 or 4 times if I have a stubborn die that won't work like this one is. I'll run it through several times. Then I'll take it out and I'll turn the thing. And if I don't have paper hanging, I can turn it like this, you know. And I turn it a quarter or a 90 degree or 45 degrees. And then I'll run it through again. And then the placement on your cutting machine will, the firmer parts that are pressing are going to be on a different side of your die. So it'll come through pretty well. Okay, so I have run that through quite a bit with this. Let's peel it off. And now you can see that it is pretty well done. I'm still going to have to do a little bit. You're always going to have to do some of this little pick, but not a lot. For this size of a die with all of these, I am just thrilled. And now for today's project, much of my image is going to be covering the, this center part. So I'm not really even too concerned about any holes that are going to be in this area that are not punched out, because they're going to be covered anyway by my tag that's going to go on there. Okay, but I find this relaxing. So when I'm watching TV, I can roll stuff through the Big Shot and then I can sit here and do this kind of thing. And it's kind of, okay, I'm crazy, I know, but I find it a little bit relaxing, so. All right. Oh, Terry, I have somebody new. Terry, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you share the video, and then you can be entered in the drawing I'll do next week to see who win, to send you a little gift if you win. Everybody who shares, I look at the video, and I'm going to do that tomorrow on Tuesday for last week's video, because I didn't get around to doing it yet today. So I am going to do it tomorrow, and then I will share, I'll do the drawing. So I'll do the drawing tomorrow for last week's video. And watching from Colorado. You know what? It's pretty warm. I think we're going to have 96 degrees or so today. And that's a little too warm for me. So I'm going to be just happy to stay inside the house and not do anything. I did my bike ride. I've deadheaded a few flowers. There's some things that I need to get out and do, but I'm probably not going to do it. Okay, now I need to do the flap. This card actually is going to open from the bottom. Okay. And I have my little instructions here. So your base card is this, but I forgot to get out my mint macaron because I've got to do this size piece. And I thought I had a flap here, but apparently I don't. So let me just stand up and reach over and grab another sheet of mint macaron out. Thought I had it there, so that's funny. I must have been thinking my old olive was the mint macaron piece there. That was that. But anyway, I think Jeff's got the Beach Boys going in there. Jeff is from from Yorba Linda, which is very close to Los Angeles. And so the Beach Boys is something that he's very fond of. Okay, so that was the stitched lace dies piece. There is another one that comes with it that I haven't used yet, but actually, I take that back. I did use it. It will give you a nice scallop edge around your medallions there, so that you have but I didn't really want to use that because I want to mimic my straight edge on this flap. So I did not use that, but that is going to be really a nice addition to this bundle. So I would encourage you to get the stitched lace dies, whether you get the bundle it comes with or not. You will enjoy using that, I'm sure. So now we need to cut a piece of mint macaron 9 inches by 2.5 inches. So let me unlock my board, and we'll just do the 2 inches here. 2 or 2.5? 2.5 inches. Get that there. Oh, my blade, I keep forgetting to change it. It's probably gonna leave fuzzies on the edge there, but not too bad. And then we need 9 inches. So I need to get my little arm out. And this is 9 inches. And then we're gonna score it at 4.5 inches. Okay. All right. Put that away for a moment. And then this little flap is going to be, that color looks slightly different. You know what? This is a very old piece of mint macaron. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to have to grab out another piece because I have a new packet that I think I took this out of. And I just took this sheet out of my really old one that I had sitting there. And it's just it's probably just age, you know. It's sat there on my shelf long enough that it's, because no sun gets to it, but it's definitely a little bit different. So I'm going to cut that piece again. This is just sort of oh, hi, Carol. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for writing that. Okay. Yes, Freddie, you're right. It is therapy to do to punch out all those little holes. I do enjoy doing that. Okay, so Carol shared, which reminds me to tell everybody, make sure you share my video, and then you can get entered into a drawing. Tomorrow, Carol, I'm going to do the drawing for last week's video. So check out what I do. I'll do that probably in the morning, although since Jeff's home right now, my schedule is a little bit up in the air on every day. Every day it's up in the air, it seems like, but it won't be long and school will be back in session. All right, 4.5 inches is what I scored it at, I believe. And now our flap matches my other cardstock. Okay. All right, so if you're just coming in, the Garden Lane DSP is what we are using for this background here. And this sheet, actually, I'm not sure how I'm going to use this side. I haven't used this side yet. It's a little more complicated than the other sheets in this packet, I think, because of the combination of mint macaron and old olive. Now, those two greens in my brain don't go together well. They don't play together well. They look good on this floral section to me, but I'm not so sure about the other. So to do your flap, let me take this bow off so that you can see what we're doing. We're just concealing the flap under some Whisper White. Okay, so this is the base card, and I'm just turning it upside down. We're gonna cut off a 1 3/4 inches from this top, this end, from one end, and it's gonna be this end, because I'm gonna fold that down. Okay, so 1 3/4 off Oops, let's turn it like this. 1 3/4. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm starting to get a little bit frazzled, I think. I'm not sure. The cutting board is sort of like awkward trying to fit it all in here. So I cut in that. I took off that 1 3/4 inches from this end. And then with the flap that I just did, let me do that really quick. Oops, I didn't quite. Let me make sure it's even there. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take this and glue it right here. And today I think I'm just going to use my old snail because I'm not actually doing a lot of gluing. Oops, I want it to be on this back side though. Okay. So we're just going to do that. I do want it to be in the center, but I can just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be fine. Okay, so that is your flap. And now you're going to take a piece of Whisper White and put it right over that. And that's 4 5 1/4. Okay, so let's put this all like this so I can see what I'm doing. And actually I need to move it because otherwise I'm going to probably smash it all over the place. Thank you, Freddie. You're very encouraging. Okay, Whisper White, 4 5 1/4. It's my measurements that are always like, did I measure that correctly? I hope so. There's 4 or 5 1/4, and then we'll get rid of that piece before I try to use it. And then just 4 inches. Okay. I think I'm done with that. Nope, I'm not. I'm still going to have to cut out the DSP. When I have my whole desk to use, then I can just put my cutting board to the side. But today, I am trying to keep my area here a little more cleared. So now I've got all my extra stuff over there where I would put my cutting board. All right, so we've got that piece done. And then we can just attach it right here. Now, if you wanted to stamp on the inside, now for me, I am going to go ahead and just stick it on because I can stamp right on here, and I'll be careful to make sure. But because you've got this edge, if you for most people, if you try to stamp on here, you're going to get an uneven surface and your stamp is not going to stamp exactly the way you want it to. So if you actually want to stamp this inside in any manner, do it now before you put it on here, and then you don't have to worry about that. When I stamp mine, if I've got one that's overlapping this area, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand under here and use my stamp and make sure that the pressure is even. But that's a little bit awkward. If I was a new stamper, I definitely would not try to do anything like that because you're just going to end up rocking the sides and getting a smeared edge, and then you're going to have to cut another piece of Whisper White like I've done so many times. Cut another piece of Whisper White and stick it on there. That's the thing I love about making cards is that I can always cut out another piece of Whisper White, slap that baby right on here, and nobody knows I totally screwed up that other end. Or I can just cut things off and redo. It's pretty easy to fix. So that's nice. All right, now what you are going to do is cut your little DSP. That's going to be for this bottom of the flap. And you're going to cut 2 pieces actually, because when I am all finished, I am going to put the one inside also. So when they open it up, they're going to also see this. I just haven't really finished this card yet. I'm in the process of finishing it. As I make a card, I get ideas of what to do. So thank you, Carol. I appreciate your encouragement very much. I'm glad you like it. This is pretty paper. So let me just go over it again really quick. It's the Garden Lane DSP that I'm using today. And this side, I like it because it's got the soft sea foam. It looks like white. I think this is white. mint macaron and old olive, and it's actually working well. I don't know. Those two greens together, I don't know. The soft sea foam can go with anything, but that old olive is harder to pair up. So we're cutting this 3.5 by 4 inches. So this side needs to be the 4 inches since I've got just a scrap going here, and then 3.5 inches. Okay. So I'll have to get out another piece to do that inside piece. I'm just not even going to do it at this moment. I don't want to take your time all day today, so I'm just going to do this side. But you will do another piece. You'll have 2 pieces, and then you'll put one on the inside too. And if you wanted to be super fancy, you could put this on this side, another one, or you could even do this side and have it be. There's so many things you can do with the DSPs. I love that. You're not limited at all. But I'm going to put this one on the inside or on the outside. Okay, I just need to make sure my borders are equal, which is not the easiest thing to do sometimes. Okay, now we're ready for our that lace, that stitched lace overlay for this. And as usual with all of the papers that I've cut and set aside in various places, I can't find that. This happens to me every single, oh, there it is. It just fell in my lap and I didn't see it. So this is the one that I ran through last night. And so this little piece, I don't think I did no, that is the dimension, 2.5 by 4.25. So we'll try it. We'll see. Sometimes when you get to this layering part, for me, sometimes it's easier to just start from the center, make that piece, and go out, rather than having all the dimensions exactly. But we'll give it a try and see if I made accurate ones. Okay, so 2.5 inches is what I'm going to cut this direction. Okay, and 4 inches this way. And I did, this side's a little bit, I want straight sides, so I have a little where I just use my scissors and cut this. There's little indentations there, which might happen anyway, even when I do it this way. 4.25. Ooh, I almost 4.25. It's so close. I'm afraid this is going to tear it a little bit, so I'm going to start kind of in the middle there and see if it. Sometimes when you're trying to cut something that's been cut, you have a lot of fine detail. That's a doily or something. We've got Teresa. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate it. And Andy, it's nice to see you too. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Make sure you share and write down that you shared my videos so that you can get entered in the drawing. And then tomorrow I will do the drawing for last week's video, and we'll see who won that one. And then for this video, I will do that not Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're going to be on vacation. So next Monday, I'll have to do it. I'll have to get all my ducks in a row so that I make sure I get that done, because I'll totally forget again, I'm sure. We'll try. You guys are so forgiving. I know you'll manage to. See, this is what I'm talking about. So I had written out the dimensions for this, and I'm sure this one is 4.25 inches by 2.5. But when I did my flap, of course, I probably did the dimensions slightly wrong. Okay, that's just so common. And so, or maybe when I was writing these instructions out, I just measured my flap and wrote that down for this. But obviously, I need it to be 1/4. You wanted an 1/8 inch actually in, but that's a total of 1/4 inches in. So since this looks like I have an exact match for my sides, I need to take 1/4 inch off this way. And if I had done that the first time around, I wouldn't have had this issue with possibly tearing, but oh well. Okay, so instead of 2.5, really should have been 2 1/4. All right, now we'll see how that went. Ooh, it cut pretty nicely. Good. When you have all these little holes and you go to cut, a lot of times you're going to tear your paper. So it's best to have a very sharp blade. And sometimes when I'm cutting, if that's a possibility, because I have all these little holes in a doily or something, I start my blade in the center of the paper where there's the most strength to the paper and hold on right here and cut one direction really good and then cut the other way really good. And then that will be less likely to tear your paper. So I think that's gonna good. That worked out well. And even though I'm going to put my snail kind of in the middle here and not on the outside edges, that way it doesn't matter if it's kind of sticky tacky a little bit here, because it's going to be on where my tag is anyhow. Okay, so that's down. You're friends with Carol and Andy. Do you live near us, Teresa? Because if so, I just want to invite you to my classes. They're pretty fun. We have a great time. And next month, I'm excited about that Magnolia one. If you look at my page at the events, you'll see the class that we're doing. Next, we're going to do Good Morning Magnolia, and we've got this cute little cowboy boot we're doing. I'm really excited about it. Oh, good. I can use my little extra flap that I had. So I'm not going to cut it out. I have my dimensions here. But as you can see, my soft sea foam for the flap should have said 2 and, it says 2 1/2. Oh, I bet you I just cut it wrong. What did I do? I think it should have said 2 1/4. I think that's what I ended up. Is that what I just cut? I think so. All right, and you live in Richland. I live in Richland too. Well, that is awesome. So you're probably not too far from me, I bet. That's neat. You'll have to message me your address so that I have it. If you win my drawing, again, share the video. If you win the drawing, then I'll have your address too. All right, and then, real quick, just for those of you who don't know me very well, this page is Kathy Crow's cards and my team page, and all is off my husband's Facebook page, Jeff Crow. He's a teacher at Hanford High School, so he's perfectly safe. we just keep one Facebook page basically. It's much easier to manage, and then we can check to make sure neither one of us are getting involved in something we shouldn't be. And that's kind of the truth, I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. It's actually been a really good protection, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. We're not the only one that have gotten really strange friend requests from people that you've never heard of, or multiple friend requests from somebody that you've been a friend with forever. You don't need to be getting another friend request from them. All right, so I'm taking one piece of my Whisper White DSP, and before I do anything else, I am going to stamp this sentiment. And this is from a big thank you. I love this. This is so cute. You are the best. Very sweet. And we're just going to stamp that in mint macaron. I have an old one here. Yeah, I'm going to do the sentiment first. And actually, I should, instead of using it on a stamp block, I think I'm going to go ahead and get my Stamparatus out. Because when I first did it, after I did it, I thought, if I'd had my Stamparatus, this actually I was in a rush. But actually, the Stamparatus would work much better. I love this thing. It works like a dream. And you can see I use my paper over and over again. So I'm going to just flip it over so it's not quite... I mark where I put my papers, my card in. So I have these little marks because I don't want to get too close to the hinge. Otherwise, it doesn't give me a very good impression. So I'm not going to worry about those marks right now because I'm not going to use this all that many times. I think we're going to be good, but I don't know, maybe I should go ahead and mark it. That's what I always do. Usually if I do something different, I regret it. So I'm going to move this over just a tad, and I'm going to mark my coordinates. So I'm going to stick my card here, and then the next coordinate is going to be here because my card's just off a tiny bit, and I don't really need to worry about this side. Just there. So when I lift my stamp, it's going to... because this is a big piece, but if I was stamping really, or if my cardstock was very small and I had to put my magnets like right here, sometimes it shifts around, doesn't it? So I don't really care how this is working. So this is a big piece. I can work with this. We'll stick that there, and we'll do the mint macaron on that. I should probably put my stamp set for support under there, and then I can make sure that when I'm inking this, I'm just going straight down and trying not to get quite as much ink as I often do on the sides. Now I don't have to worry about how many times I'm doing that because as you can see, I can just go back and make this as dark as I want to. I love this Stamparatus. It makes stamping so easy. So that can be nice and dark. And the other thing that's really nice about this, you only have 26 friends. You're smart. You don't friend people that you don't know. Yes, Freddie, that is also what we do. And of course, since Jeff's a teacher, we get a lot of friend requests from former students or even current students. And thankfully, you know, that's something we agreed on early on, was just that friending students is not a good plan. Don't do it. So that's never been a question. We have friended students that have been former students that were students like 25, 30 years ago. Okay, that's when they've been out of high school that long. I think we're pretty safe. I think they're pretty safe. But anyway, I'm gonna put this back in there, and then I want to get this little guy out. That's going to go underneath each one. Now with your Stamparatus, this is making it easier. I actually just used my acrylic block and stamped these, but I had to be pretty careful when I did it. And if I'm using my Stamparatus anyway, I'll just continue to use it. And then I can get my placement exactly the way I want it. And I can get this... the strength I want it. Now, in this case, I want this to be light colored. So I better clean that before I try sticking it back on there. Thank you, Andy, for sharing. I appreciate that. The cowboy boot class. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing it with us, Andy. It's going to be so fun. I really like that one. I've got a couple of friends I know that want to do it, but they haven't registered yet. They're going to have to get themselves registered because I think that one's going to go pretty quickly. All right, so this is the tricky part, is trying to get this in the center so that it's aligned. And I could get my little ruler out if I want to be super, super fussy. I think I got that pretty well. So we'll go ahead and give it a try. You can't, oops, did you see how that lifted? That's why I keep these coordinates here. I make sure my paper doesn't go wonky on me, because when you lift, those photopolymers like to stick to that paper and they like to ink that up. Okay, very good. I like that. And now we can put this away. Carol, let's see, it's in August. You've asked a very good question. that Magnolia class. I hate to tell you because I'm afraid I'll tell you the wrong date. Let me see if I have it written over here on the side. I think I do. I think it's the 23rd of August. It's a Friday. I think it's the 23rd. So it would be a Friday at 10 a.m. You can always do the class online. Every class I do, you can always do it online. The cowboy boots. Now, it's not a cowboy boot. I'm going to have to show you the card so that you see what it is. It's very cute. Now, I do have the cowboy boot thing that you're talking. I think it's called Country. What is that stamp set that has the country cowboy boots and the guitar? And Country Livin', I think is what it is. Oh, it's cute. I love that one. But this is an actual boot. Let me go grab it really quick. So hold on. You can look at my sample here for a second while I dash over to the other side of the room. The camera's going to jiggle because I'm having a very hard time getting by all of my computer and all of that stuff. So this is the card we're gonna make because we're gonna do the Good Morning Magnolia, and we're gonna do a fancy fold card with it in color. So you're gonna get to practice coloring with using some shading techniques using the blends, because this leaf and this flower are perfect for practicing that. So we're going to get to do that. It's a cute little card though. You're going to love doing this card. So that's the card. We only do 2 projects because I only charge $10 and you'll only be here 2 hours. And when we do other projects that take longer, this is the boot. Isn't that cute? So we're going to do that stamp 2 times. We're going to do slightly different colors on this one, but it's close to the same. It's just a little bit different greens. And the boot's a little box. Oh, isn't he cute? Love that. That is so fun. So that is going to be very super fun. And, oh, Carol, have you got the... I'll put the date on your comment, Carol, later about that class to make sure that I've written it on here. But have you got the Country Livin' stamp set? Is that what you're talking about, that you have it? Because that one is really cute. I got it after it wasn't new anymore, so I have not done a class with it. I'm going to have to do a class with it because it's really, really nice. So I'm going to cut this piece. Let's just look here. 3 1/8 by 1 1/2. Well, I guess I can keep that over there now. Okay, so we're going to just start by cutting this edge where I kind of want it. I can trim that side if I need to, but we're going to start there. So 1 3/4 inch. And we're going to see if that ends up being pretty even on both sides of the sentiment. It's pretty close. I think I'm going to be happy with that. And then 3 3/4. It needs to be fairly close to that little doodad there. And the height of this doesn't have to be exact, obviously. I wrote down the dimensions, but it does not have to be exact. See, my dimensions are going to be, so it's going to be smaller. This is going to be larger than what I'm ending up with. Although that looks pretty close there, so I don't know. So maybe it's not 3. Maybe I should have written 3. Oh, I did. I read it wrong. It's 3 1/4, not 3 3/4. So 3 1/4. There we go. That looks better than what I was all eyeballing it at. And now I'm not going to worry too much about my dimensions on the old olive piece that's coming up next. Let me throw away some of my scrap pieces that are laying around. Now this piece is pretty small. I'm going to save this piece and run it through the at night. This is one way I'm losing weight, is at night I do all kinds of stamping, and I run little scraps like these little scraps. I run them through my, stitched rectangles, stitch shapes, so that I have all those little tags on hand, ready to make a card. If you have that stuff already cut out, you're going to find that you make cards a lot more often than you would. Oh, good. I'm glad you like that boot. Oh, Carol, are you talking about the boot or I don't know? But anyway, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And anyhow, I don't even know where I am. So old olive, I'm not going to measure it. I'm going to just stick this right on here. And then I'm going to, with my scissors or the cutter, I don't know, we'll trim it. But I'm just sticking this on here, okay? It doesn't need to be anything perfect or fancy. It doesn't have, I don't want a whole lot of border on this showing, because it doesn't really go well with this green. It does not play nice. I know they put it together, but it really doesn't play nice. So I'm going to just use my scissors, and I cut it crooked. I can see I did that. Oh. And you know what? My card stock's even a little fuzzy there because of my blade acting up. But this is what I do. I get excited about a card, and I think, I don't want to drag that cutter out again. I can cut a straight line for that length, and then I get started on it and realize I can't cut a straight line for the life of me, but I'm doing it anyway. All right, so this one's gonna go on another piece of the DSP. And again, I'm gonna take these, put these on the side. These little scraps, I'll cut those into some label in the evening instead of shoveling food into my mouth. And here's the card we're doing. Let's see what we've got going here. I need this DSP to be, did I write it? I don't even think I did. 3.5 by 2 1/8. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out if that's accurate. I definitely do need it to be smaller. So we'll just see. Good, Andy. I'm so glad you're going to do the class. That's awesome. We'll have a great time. All right, so 3.5 inches. I'm sort of taking a chance here on my measurements. I just cut it. I hope I was close to what I want. Oh, good. That's looking good. And 2 1/8. All right. Good. I can get that cutting board out of the way. Oh, just constantly like right in the way. Okay, that's pretty good because I want this to be, actually, I didn't put it on as a dimensional, but I think I would like it to be with a dimensional. So I'm going to grab this out. Now, if you like the boot, I think we're going to do some other country themed things coming up too, because I really like country themed. I think some of the holiday catalog that's coming out, isn't there some holiday, it seemed like there was some holiday stamp set that was gonna really be a nice country themed one. I kind of forget. Good, I'm glad. Oh, you know what I did? I just did the wrong one. That's okay. I'm going to stick this on. It has to go on with a dimensional anyway. So while I'm right here, I want to be able to see my little lacy edge, and it's barely showing. I think I would have liked to have had this DSP a little smaller, but oh well. This is what we ended up with. So we'll put these dimensionals on here. And we're almost done. Now you get to see me struggle with the bow. This is the part that gets difficult. I like flowers, so I think that's one reason I really like country themed things, is because I can always stick a flower on it. Every time I go to do another stamp card, or a stamp set, I think, this would only be improved by a flower on it. I'm sort of a flower freak. Okay, there we go. And now for this is that pretty peacock ribbon. Oh man, I love it. And if you were looking at the description, of course, it says Old Olive. So there is some Old Olive, but it's that pretty peacock. So you would think it doesn't really match this card, but because there's so much blue in the mint macaron, it actually matches that quite nicely. So I'm going to just tie this into a bow, and we'll be done with that. That way, when the person gets it, oh, you know what I forgot? I want this to be able to slide up under. Oh, good, it did. I actually meant to put my dimensionals here up a little bit higher. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Since this is my card, I can ruin it however I want to. So these dimensionals, I don't want those that low. Be able to slide up. So I'm just going to stick them. I'm getting them off pretty well. They're pretty gummy because they haven't been on there long enough to. Now I'm going to have to fold it back a little because I've sort of torqued it and ruined it a little bit. And try to get some of this gumminess off. Ah, my goodness. It's always super sticky when you don't want it to be. And it's not sticking at all sometimes. But actually, I can say that about the glue dots. But the dimensionals are always super sticky. So you want to put those where you want them the first time. Not have to do that. But it worked. And now whoever gets this card, now you can... oops, there we go. Slide it up. They can slide it up here. See? Okay. And then they can slide it or they can untie it, whatever. I'm using for my finishing touches here some leftover faceted dots. So this is from last year's collection. I have a few left here. And I thought, well, good. I can actually use up some of my mint macaron faceted dots here. So we'll put a couple of those. I think I used the teeny tiny ones, but oops, we'll get it there. And then one big fat one down here. I tend to not use these fat ones as much as the little ones. I'm not sure why that is, but there we go. And that is that. So that card is done. All right, so again, if you want to, let me find my other bow. If you want to order anything from me, please do it. These are the things I used. Use this host code, and then I'll know that it was from this video. And then you will get, if your order is $50 or more, you're going to get a coupon back from Stampin' Up! For $5 that you can use in August. If you are a demonstrator, then you want to order from yourself, but make sure you place an order before the 31st so you get those $5 coupons in the mail. If you're a demonstrator, don't wait. Get that order in. All right. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Teresa. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I am going to enjoy an afternoon, maybe inside and outside. I've got some deadheading to do. I'm going to flip the camera up, so if you're a seasick person, don't look. There I am. And thank you for joining me. And tomorrow I will do the drawing to see who wins for sharing last week's video. And that holiday catalog's coming up. Get ready for it. It's going to be exciting. Oh, Sylvia, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked the card. And what's it like where you are? What's the temperature like? It's going to be 96 here. It's sunny. It's beautiful. If you're sitting in the shade with a cool glass of tea, like I am going to do later today, and the breeze, there's always a breeze, it seems like. And it's actually been just a breeze. Here in the Tri-Cities, we get terrible winds sometimes that are hot desert, off the desert wind. So we haven't had that yet. I'm hoping we don't get it. So anyway, if we don't have that kind of a wind, it's a nice breeze and it's nice to sit in the shade, right? All right. You have a great day and I will see you later. Bye.